Thank you for listening to Two Talking Arseholes. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and may deal with adult topics and adult themes.
Brownstown, we're with you when you fight. Brownstown, bark with the dogs tonight. Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is. Those were our new titles. It's the 26th day of April. It's me, Steve Henn, and over there we have who?
Mr. Singh.
I thought you were going to go bidit.
That's copyrighted, isn't it? So I'm just trying to copy the ending bit to our intro.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've decided to put the same intro that we use for the audio podcast on the video podcast, so then I don't have to faff around when I'm uploading them together.
Did I see George Bush on that?
You may have seen a bit of Bush.
Yeah, Steve.
It's a long time since I've seen a bit of Bush. No, I was just trying to find some news footage that flashed a bit.
George Bush, though.
But I think it was George Bush, not as the president. He was going to Russia. But she said, I want to take my time. So, yeah, anyway. So we've got new titles. We've got... this is what I want to start with.
Is the COVID pandemic finally over, do you think?
Yes, in this country.
Yes, in this country. On the day, Matt Hancock has just said... Is that you making a noise?
Yeah, it was just.
It sounded like my mother used to smack me.
Yeah, I just hit the table with my hand, thinking about Matt Hancock.
So I say Matt Hancock, you slap it on the table.
His girlfriend says Matt Hancock, and he slaps it on the table, doesn't he?
So he was asked if the COVID, and he said yes, and that was on the day that we had 600 and something odd deaths. Like last week, I looked, we nearly had 2,000 deaths for the week. But I think these deaths were different deaths to the deaths that were dying during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, I think, because what they're saying, a lot of people are going into the hospital and then finding out they got COVID.
Yeah. And
but then, is the reporting is not clear, is it? Because even when we're dying of COVID, they're saying it's not been reported clearly, because they're saying they could have died of something else, but because they had COVID, it was easier to say they died of COVID. So,
saves a lot of work.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean,
that's why a lot of gangsters build buildings. Saves a lot of work with the foundations. Because they bury them in the concrete. You just looked as though you didn't know what I was talking about.
No, I did.
I think it wasn't relevant or important. Or
I wasn't sure whether you're trying to make a joke or you make a
statement of fact.
Yeah.
Swim for the fishes. But,
Sean Connery.
Yeah. Yes. Cunt. No,
and you thought, God, you can't just throw that word around.
I just did.
But I'm saying you can't. Always over little things like that.
You think you should? No, but I think that's the joy of it. I think
you've just had Matt Hancock on. You didn't say it, but when I said something, you said it to me.
Yeah, because
that's harsh.
That's the joy of it. You have to use it where the joy comes first. That was Matt Hancock's wife's name.
I disagree. Anyone want to? Anybody, not for me, was it? Anybody wants to send any comments and say I'm right? Please do.
Say you're what?
I'm right. Not white.
That's exactly what you said. Yeah. Just in case you're listening to this rather than watching, because we have subtitles when Av speaks. I've started and I'm not drinking.
That's 2 insults in a matter of a minute. That, Steve.
It is wrong. But yeah, no, I don't think COVID. I think the only trouble is that what we could do is we could get the old UK strain that's a lot worse. But I'm thinking that because more people are getting it with the world beating vaccine, it's taken like 10 years, 20 years off of how it would have progressed anyway, and that's why it's not as bad. But 600 deaths in a day is a lot. That's going back to
Well,
I think one of them, the highest day was about 1,800 at its peak.
but I think it's but it's just the whole report. It's not clear, the reporting of it.
Everyone every 2 weeks has got COVID. I think that's a fact. We were going to talk about Boris's second penalty charge notice, but we feel we'll save that till next week. Av did want to mention about Boris going home.
Well, he thought he was going for a curry. He didn't realise he was going to India to talk a trade deal. He thought he heard Indian and thought, that's Richard, give her 2 nons for that. No, Mr. Prime Minister, we have to go to India. It's Indian. We can have an Indian. No. India. You've got to travel to India. No curry.
No, she was sacked years ago.
Yes. It was his long-awaited trip because he was supposed to go last year.
Why didn't he go last year? Because he was corrupt and in the middle of a lying scandal.
No, because the Delta variant reared its ugly head.
Oh, did Delta come from India? Supposedly,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the majority of the
It became
wave.
it was when they're saying, is it the South African Indian variant? And they said, well, that's not very politically correct. Let's give it these names, Delta and come on, the South African
But
variant.
Z was meant to be the next one, but that was the name of the Chinese
Xi Jinping variant.
Z, isn't it? Z, but Z sounds like Xi,
X.
and I think that's why they were and that they were worried about that one, but they
Oh,
brought Z back.
That'd be blatant. It's more than something Trump would say. The Xi Jinping variant.
Z top.
The China virus. Yeah, he was supposed to go last year, and up until like the last day, you're still saying, I'm going to go for this trade deal. And it wasn't until the day before he acknowledged it's probably not a good idea to go. Obviously, he had to go somewhere that's a substitute. I know, I'll go somewhere where there's a load of Indians. I went to Wolverhampton instead.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
We must have been doing this a year.
I know, it has.
We've been doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
a year. 52 episodes.
The reason I say it's part of my material, talking about him going, and this is the whole point of Brexit, right? Is he's supposed to control our borders. We stopped the Eastern Europeans coming over.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a free trade deal with India. India says you have to give our people more visas to come to England, right? And you imagine now, you're racists. You're going to be thinking, wait there, we stopped white people coming into the country, and you've got to accept more brown people. You're having a fucking laugh.
You're having a fucking laugh.
What was the point of Brexit?
The people that still defend Boris, and I hate using his name, the people that still defend Piffle, it's amazing. They say, well, he did get Brexit done, and I have to say, we have left the European Union. So I suppose, does that mean we've got Brexit done? Because I think Brexit's done us.
Well, they're still negotiating over
Northern
Ireland, aren't they? Yeah. So it's not done, is it?
Done. Jacob Rees-Mogg was talking bollocks the other day about it, saying that we can now change it any way we want to, because why couldn't we? And whereas before he said we couldn't change it because we've got the good deal, we've got the great deal in Ireland. He's a anyway. But yeah, no, but they're saying, that he's done a great job with the pandemic. He's got Brexit done, and he's doing brilliantly in Ukraine. I'm thinking he's not doing brilliantly in Ukraine. Ukraine really has got nothing to do with us, really, apart from us saying, well, we'll have 12 of your misplaced people.
He's put in a great spin on things, which he has to, doesn't he? I mean,
that's what he does.
A whole point of going Ukraine, me being me, I'm thinking, that wasn't for Ukrainian people. That's for him to show, I'm out here. I'm supporting them. I'm a great leader. That's what that was all about.
Well, it was him for the party faithful. It wasn't for anything else. Everything he does, and that's what he's doing at the moment, is for the party faithful. But I still can't believe people will actually stand up and defend him, because there's nothing there to defend, really. He's a scally.
So right there, you call me the C word and you call him a scally.
I know. I feel really bad calling you a cunt.
We're mentioning all these people, and I got the
You got the
worst
C
of
word.
it. I got the worst of it. He
You
dropped the C
got-
bomb on me. God, it was like Putin having a go at
Oh.
Ukraine. That's how I compare it. Your language.
I hate Putin and I hate you. No, I don't hate Ukraine.
Hate you.
I hate Putin and I
You
hate
should
what's
hate.
yeah,
Thanks.
hate Putin.
I
I hate
mean,
you. No, I hate
I think
what's
I need to
going
bring
on.
this podcast to an end. Then, if
No, I don't
that
hate
way.
you. I hate Ukraine. No, I hate the way. I hate what's happening in Ukraine, which every normal person does. But I just can't. I just can't get over. Like, we can't do anything. I know we can't do anything, but we should, because it's wrong for all of the other people in the world to just sit back and watch innocent people being just butchered.
I think I did read something that
Oh, happy Easter, everyone! By the way, let's keep this light.
Easter's gone.
I know, but I just wanted to say something happy because I felt that I just really went down a dark path there, Av, and I'm hoping you're going to bring me out of it, but I feel you're not.
I think they're sending Ukrainian troops to the UK to get training here.
Get back in your boat! Get back in your boat! I've got a gun! That's how we train our soldiers.
I think Preeti Patel's going to have a session with him as well.
Oh, I have a session with her.
Having the smug look on your face while you kill people. I'm racist.
I'm racist, don't you know? But no, I just hate what's going on, and I just don't understand. I do understand why we can't go in. I do understand. But surely there has to come a time when we say enough is enough.
Only country can do that is a superpower, which is China.
What about India? Is that why Boris has gone?
Or India's going to be. I was listening to something today. They're going to in a short period of time. They're going to be the second biggest economy in the world.
Well, is that only because we're now the 52nd worst economy in the
We're
world?
the sixth, aren't we? We're the sixth.
We're
biggest
not
economy.
bollocks. Are we the sixth? I bet you, if you got a money expert on in the next 6-7 weeks, they'll say that we're 11th.
No.
Because we got Brexit done. We got Brexit done, so we should be.
No, I think because the other countries are China, India economies have big. Well, even before the pandemic, their economies are growing. Whereas everyone else is just slowing down. That's why they've gone up. But that was before the pandemic. But India's.
Do you think, right? And this, you must stop me if this is racist in any way, right? Do you think the reason why Indian and Chinese economy has increased during the pandemic is because everyone's ordering takeaways? That's got.
I don't know if it was racist, Steve. But I can tell you something. It wasn't funny. Sorry. You're gonna drop a C bomb again, aren't you, on me?
No, I think why is it that Indian and Chinese have got the biggest economy? I thought, well, that's because everyone's buying Indian and Chinese meals.
They've got the biggest population.
But mind
that's
you,
why.
I would hate to be a Deliveroo driver getting out his map in China or India and say, where the fuck is Redditch? So yeah, I made you laugh there.
No, I was thinking that. Yeah, no. Well, I was
You're thinking maps. How topical is that?
I was going to say, even if that was even the case, he wouldn't get nowhere near because Preeti was going to send him to Rwanda.
It made me think though when I was talking about computers and things, because you wanted to talk about Higgs boson.
Elon Musk.
That's what I said. We all know that a Higgs boson is a Sea Scout's favourite knot.
I thought the Higgs boson was the God particle. In the
That's
God
right. No, but they've switched it back on this weekend. After 3 years of tinkering, they've been tinkering with a
dangerous.
26-mile tunnel. 26 miles, booming around, splat, and it's a Higgs boson. They're hoping to find some dark matter. It'll be a joke.
I left the
by
bed sat in
Jimmy
the
Carr.
toilet the other day.
Oh. Now you see, I know your toes curl when I say the C word, but seriously, I'm not a big fan of dark matter, if we're going to call it that from now on.
Oh, okay.
But I suppose
No, I
even
was-
the Queen. Happy birthday, Your Majesty.
I was going to talk about technology. I was going to talk about Elon Musk. He's been on the TED Talks. I was just watching it earlier on. I haven't watched all of it. But obviously he had his, we talked about it last week, the Gigafactory he opened up, and then they were interviewing him that he reckons he'll have a workable demo robot with AI.
Artificial intelligence. But haven't we got any artificial intelligence going on? Now, I'm guessing that... Diddle-a-bum-bum-ba-da-bum-bum.
Hello?
Hello. Haven't they got robots with AI?
No, not like what he's saying. He's saying they're going to have these robots that are going to be able to actually do tasks like make your tea, keep your grandmother entertained, make me a sandwich, make me some food. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the plan. And the question they asked him was, well, because he said we have all these robots and they'll be able to do all the menial tasks, or menial jobs, which people don't want to do. And he goes, well, what happens if you make these robots and then they take these people's jobs? And the point he made was that, well, if you have these menial jobs taken, and we already got shortage of people wanting to do those jobs, what you're doing, you make whatever products they're making are going to be cheaper anyway as well.
If we got the robots doing most of the hard work, we don't have to pay them, so we can give people a universal wage.
But will companies want to do that?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the people that it's the big business. But then at the end of the day, if you either shoot the people, have a war to get rid of them, or you pay them like peanuts and keep them happy.
But it's scary though. It is. You know, it's like a Terminator, you know, or iRobot, you know,
Yeah.
Will Smith. And just robots go around, start slapping people.
Transcendence, I saw that, and that's basically the same thing. They put his mind into a computer, and he takes over the world.
You reckon Boris has seen that?
No, he has got a proper mind. I mean, he hasn't got like Boris's mind. Even though he's clever, it does flit from like you show him a piece of pretty glass, he's gone. He's off somewhere else. He's not focused. Whereas Transcendence, you have to be focused.
What did you watch it on? Netflix?
You do Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. That's another thing. I don't know if you heard Netflix as shares went down considerably this week.
If I could turn back time.
I think it was like they're saying that a lot of people cancelled because obviously they joined during the pandemic. The pandemic's over, people cancelling, not watching as much.
So they're not making as much money.
People's cancelling the subscriptions, and the shares have gone down.
If you believe in love ever after.
What's that about?
Shares.
Okay.
I enjoy myself when I'm not drinking. Thing is, right?
I don't.
They were saying ages ago that Netflix couldn't sustain its model, and also there's a lot more people streaming.
There's a lot more competition. I mean, what they were saying is people are sharing their.
I think they're grasping straws there.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of competition now, isn't there?
I think Netflix is good because they do a lot of their own stuff and they're a large selection. But Amazon are doing quite well now. And because I love Amazon Prime, as in, if I want something by tonight, it comes tonight.
Amazon's become a necessity if you want stuff delivered. The problem is I don't like the idea of putting money into Jeff Bezos' pocket.
You don't like Jeff Bezos, do you? He's your least favourite billionaire. We've said this.
Elon. I've got a thing for Elon Musk at the moment. I really like Elon Musk.
When Av says he's got a thing for Elon Musk, right? I think that's a business plan.
I wish I could give him a business plan.
It sounds rude. I'll give him a business plan. He wouldn't expect that business plan, missus.
I reckon he's a billionaire for a reason. I reckon it'd be hard to work for. He'll probably expect you to work at all hours of the day.
Elon.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, but I think he'd also be, because he's like whatever we discussed last week, bipolar. I think because he's got that sort of specialness about him, he would be hard work, but you'd think, oh, that's probably just a bit of, what's going on in his head, because he's actually very clever. Whereas if it was Bezos, you say, oh, he's just a tit.
Bezos, for some reason, I don't trust him in space.
But see, they're both doing it, aren't they? They're both trying to bring the internet to the world by putting satellites in space.
Musk is already doing it. You can buy internet satellite through his company.
Yeah,
but they'll put a dish up for you.
Yeah, no, but you can't get the satellite feeds yet from the satellites.
I was reading there's a guy somewhere in the sticks in the UK, and he's bought it. It's like £80 a month, and he goes, but he's paying a lot of money, but it's guaranteed he gets a signal. Because
I was looking into the satellite thing, if it's going to be cheaper monthly.
I know, you're going to get robots around your house, Steve, putting the satellite dish in, and then you're going to say the C word to them, and they're going to go crazy.
But they wouldn't know. They wouldn't. They just take that as a normal word.
I'm sure it's in their heads an acceptable word.
Oh God, yeah. You can't. You see. Oh, now we could talk about this if you want. It's not pleasant, but the guy that got done for setting fire to his cardboard model of the Grenfell flats because it was extremely bad taste.
Is that recent?
Well, no, he did it like quite soon after the Grenfell thing. It was like for bonfire night, so it was the bonfire night after. But put it on YouTube, twat. So many people saw it, obviously because they shared it, twats. And then he was arrested for grossly offensive video. At the time, I thought, yes, it is grossly offensive.
Well, I thought that this video was grossly offensive when you called me the C word.
I don't even think it was grossly, and I beg to differ on offensive. But you know what I mean? What is grossly offensive? I'm quite happy for this guy to get everything thrown at him because it just shows we shouldn't have things like that being allowed to go out because it's just horrible for the people that have to suffer the memories and all that.
About
grossly offensive.
Was it? We can have a separate conversation how things people desensitized. Yeah.
Desensitized.
People are desensitized to desensitize.
People hand sanitize.
Desensitized to these kind of things.
Was she a singer in the Runaways? It's desensitized. You did so well.
What decade was that, Steve? What decade was that, Steve?
Say it again.
Everyone's desensitized to everything at the moment, so well, everyone, but
48-52 split. It's our side and your side, and I think that's where a lot of shit has come from. Boris likes to split you up. So if you're fighting against each other, you're not fighting against me. Did we finish Elon Musk off?
No, I suppose so. He's
Or did you?
We have to watch this space this year. I see what AI robots come out to take over the world.
Hold on. Were you being funny then or not?
Unintentional, that was.
I know it was, because I thought it was really funny, and I thought, well, he didn't have a glint in his eye. He didn't glint. His eye didn't glint.
Anyways, watch the TED Talk. It's quite interesting with Elon.
What's it about? What about?
Just
AI,
his views
on
Twitter. He talks about Twitter, free speech, AI, his plans for the future.
He managed to find, though, this is what they said, he managed to find £44 billion to buy Twitter. Was it down the back of his sofa? How do you find 44 billion?
He's not using his own money. I think he's got other people to invest.
That makes more sense. He'd take a hit, but he doesn't want to take the biggest hit because I think he's going to approach the shareholders and buy them out separately.
What Twitter is saying is that they've got like a
poison pill.
Poison pill, that's it, isn't it? It's a way to stop hostile takeovers of companies. They'll create more shares, which would devalue.
If I could turn back time.
Thanks. It would devalue all the other shareholders. So they could say put out another 1 million shares.
If you believe in love ever after.
It would just water down everyone else's value on their stock.
I don't really want him to own Twitter. I feel
Well,
he'll make it. He'll turn it into another one of those Donald Trump type things where everyone's allowed to lie.
Watch the
Sorry.
TED Talks and listen to what he says. Because there's a lot of things I didn't realise about Twitter. And if it is true, then you can understand why he's looking at it.
He's one of those people, though, isn't he? That because he's special, that he doesn't seem to lie. He's not a liar. He says what he sees. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but
He can't lie. He just has to say what it is.
You just got to look at Trump because he's created his own social media Twitter thing alternative.
How's that doing?
I don't know.
Not
anyone
well at all. I don't think.
Truth Social. Right, that's an old man made that name, didn't he? Truth Social. Should have called it Bullshitter.
I would subscribe to Martin. Has had enough of me already. He's had enough of me. He's called me that word very early on. But this week, what did we talk about?
We talked about Boris again.
We had a little bit of Matt Hancock and that the coronavirus is over.
Yeah, talked about visit to India. Steve made a very controversial joke about having an Indian and a Chinese.
Indian and Chinese take away economy.
Rwanda, Elon Musk,
Priti Patel,
Jeff Bezos,
Rwanda.
and we finished on Trump.
I think we'll leave it there. Thanks, Av.
Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra!